Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts, Tom Vassell and Sam Healy.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Sam Healy, what's up, folks?
Now today we're doing a review of a game called Choose Your Own Adventure, House of Danger. This game is not available yet and won't be available for a month or so, maybe more than that.
Yeah.
We played a very early copy of the game, which, as far as we could tell, was pretty much finished.
Yeah, but they might make some tweaks and balances here and there, possibly. We don't know.
We're also not going to show much of the game. We'll see a few pictures over the course of this video showing parts of the game, but we don't want to spoil the game for you because this is a spoilerific game.
Yeah.
But I can explain to you what it is. If you've ever read these books, did you read them when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Did you
Of course.
do the 10-finger thing? Where you
No.
go here or there? And I'll be like, I'll stay here.
I don't think I did 10 fingers. I think I possibly did like 2 or 3.
Yeah, because I was always like,
Because each choice usually gave you like 2 or 3 possibilities. And so I would and stick my finger in there and then go to the other one and stick my finger there and then see what happens. But
then it would say, you're dead. And you'd be like, I really?
Yes, exactly.
I hugged the mummy rather than ran from it. And if you liked that cheesiness, well, they did that in this game. This game actually looks, the box looks like a huge book of this type.
Yeah.
And so this is split into 5 chapters. And so the chapters are essentially stopping points.
Yeah.
Where you can stop playing. And you have 2 decks of cards. You have 1 deck of clue cards, and you have 1 deck of book cards. And you put a cover of the book on top of the book cards so you're not spoiled by them. You start reading and you get to an option. It'll say, do you want to smack the mummy or stab the mummy with a knife? This is not in this game.
No
Different things
are in
happen
this game.
that we know of. Well, we didn't run across everything.
That's true.
So whatever choice you make, it will then tell you to turn to a page, and then you go to that page, and it gives you more choices. Sometimes it will say, take a clue card, and clue cards...
There could be things that help you, items that could help you, or artifacts that you need later on in the book.
Yeah, it's for like future chapters. This
Yes.
whole thing is put together. And so you'll go through these, and sometimes you'll have a challenge. You'll say challenge, whatever, and you need to roll a certain number. A 1 is always a failure, a 6 is always a success, but you can use an item to add to your rolling.
Yeah.
And that will help you pass this. And sometimes if you pass it, you will get another item, and or you will be able to go to a different choice than the 2 choices on the card.
Right.
I think that's all I can really say. Except that when you get to the end, it's just like a Choose Your Own Adventure book. In Chapter 5, there is endings. Mm-hmm. And there's more than one. And your choices throughout the whole game will determine which end you get to. Also, you can die as you play. Dying is not the end of the world. You lose. There's 2 tracks in this game.
Yeah, you basically just respawn.
Yeah, you go back to your last thing, but you also, there's like a leveling track, which comes into play over the course of the game. And then there's also another track about how hard your enemies are to fight.
Right.
So we died more than once.
Often.
And we started this out, right? And so it's called House of Danger. That's not a spoiler. You are going to this house. And when we started, I was like, I hope this is good, We said we'll play through 1 chapter.
Yeah.
So we played through the first chapter, and then we said, all right, we'll play through 2.
Yeah.
That will give us a good feel for the game. And at the end of 2, we said, all right, let's go to the end. Because I wanted to know what happened.
Yep, exactly. You wanted to know how everything fit together and pieced together. You didn't want to put it down again.
I feel like we did not see, I know we didn't see anything.
No.
Because at the end of each chapter, they have this kind of interesting thing where you can go back to some of the areas of the house that you haven't been in before. And I don't think we ever did.
No.
No, because we go forward! So the whole thing, how long do you think it took?
It took us about 2 hours altogether. Maybe a smidge over, but
No,
I'm pretty
it's
sure
definitely more. I was going to say closer to 3.
I don't think so. I think it was probably between 2.5 hours. I don't think it was 3.
Well, either way, I was not bored at all.
No.
We have been playing on our channel
Legacy of
Dragonholt. And we have complained about parts. We like it, but we complained about parts because there was just oodles of reading in that game.
Verbosity.
This game does not have that. It has like when you first start a chapter, there's like 3 or 4 cards.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of text, but after that, it's like a paragraph, 2 paragraphs.
And then here, do that.
One might argue it's not the highest quality of writing.
Doesn't have to be.
It's cheeky, though.
That's part of the fun, right?
I think so. But part of the fun is you literally could open a door in the middle of the house and find a mummy. That's why I said there's no mummies in this, but there could have been, based on everything else we came across.
There might be. We just didn't find it.
We came across minor subplots of this house that had, as far as I could tell, nothing to do with the rest of the house.
Nothing whatsoever.
But it was still entertaining.
Complete red herring.
I found this whole thing to be a rollicking romp. It was really fun, and it made me. Someone had said something like they liked it better than Time Stories, and I was like, you shut your mouth. Now that I played it, though, yeah, it's not full of puzzles, right?
Right.
I mean, there were some couple things we had to think. How does what should we do here? But it was mostly just this or this.
What would
this
be
or this.
What's the best choice to make in any given situation? Right.
But the choices aren't always obvious. If you see a guy with a gun and they're like, carefully try to subdue him, or run like crazy, I'm screaming. You're like, well, that obviously the running I'm crazy like screaming is the bad one. It might not be.
Yeah.
It might be the right one.
Right. That's true. My whole takeaway from this, I really enjoy Time Stories. I'm probably the one that enjoys Legacy of Dragonhold the most out of the three of us. But I still do see that Legacy of Dragonhold is too verbose is most of the time, not all the time. But this one falls right in between both of those. The way that I had it explained to me is that sometimes with Time Stories you get the mechanisms overshadow the story, and you kind of lose the story because the mechanisms are so much in your face. And then with Legacy of Dragonhold, it's almost the exact opposite, where you have this story that is right in your face and you're struggling to see the mechanisms that are working, helping to deliver that story to you. This is right smack dab in the middle of those two things. I don't think that the mechanisms overshadow the story, and I don't think the story overshadows the mechanisms. They work in such great congruence. It's really cool. And that's one of the things that made us want to continue going. I think if it had been mechanisms heavy, like in Time Stories, we wouldn't have wanted to continue going past chapter 2.
Probably. Not to mention they also ramped the story up.
Yeah.
They're like, you think this is what's going on? Also, there's this. You're like, holy moly. And then the third, and it's like spoilers. I can't even, in chapter 2, we did something which made me crack up, and I referenced for the rest of the game. I said, we did this.
Yeah.
And there was actually 2 things.
Yes.
And then when we got to the end and there was much bigger events, I'm like, but remember in chapter 2, we did this. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
We were wondering in chapter 1, is this kind of mundane? I kept saying there better be some supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
And then we ran into some event and it was like, oh. That was when we first died.
Right. That was the first event.
That was the first death. Of several. I just had a good time. Now, it's a disposable game, right? In a sense, not disposable, but I mean, you play it once. However, I would and will, when it comes out, play it through again.
Yeah.
Because again, I know we miss a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know the optimal path, right? It's not like I'll go here and go, we made the right choice, because I don't know what the other choice is.
True.
The only time I know the other choice is when we died.
Yeah, I don't think there is I guess there has to be an optimal path where you score the most points or you get the best rating at the end of the book.
Or the best ending.
Yeah.
Our ending was...
But I wonder if multiple paths lead to that event of being the best, which I think it would be cool if it were.
Oh, I think so, too. We got to some parts where they were like, do you have this item? And we were like, no.
No.
And other times we're like, we do! There was something we needed in Chapter 5 that we got in Chapter 1.
Yeah.
And that was just neat.
Yeah, that is cool.
I guarantee you this, if you like those Choose Your Own Adventure books, you'll like this.
Absolutely.
That's 1 for 1. I cannot imagine anyone who likes those books not liking this.
And the cool thing is that's not totally based on nostalgia. There's always that nostalgia factor where, I remember liking this so much, and then you go back and you experience that, whatever it is, again, and it's like, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. Nah, this is a really fun experience based on that nostalgic upbringing from when you were a kid of reading those books.
Well, for me, this gets 2 tabbed pages up. You know, where you fold the page. You remember where you were at? I thought it was great. I liked the art.
Yeah.
There was a lot of art in the game. I mean, a lot of art in the game. It was done in that same style that's in the books. I liked the fun of the writing. It was the book never took itself seriously.
No.
Not for 1 minute.
No.
And it brought you along for a ride. And I also liked there was dice rolling. It just was enjoyable. And I would play this one again. And the next one that comes out, I'm assuming a little bit more.
Hopefully, yeah.
I will gladly do it. Yeah, huge praise from me.
Yeah, I really think Z-Man has a real grand slam on their hands here. I think this is going to do well. It's one of those games where you can purchase. I think it has like a relatively low price tag, $25 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to play it multiple times, 2, 3, 4 times, whatever you want. Then you're going to be able to take that game and feel just absolutely okay with passing it on to somebody else, and they're going to enjoy it, and so forth and so on. It's a great idea that has really come to life well for them, and I hopefully they'll have a lot of these coming out. I'm going to give this one 2 monkey thumbs up.
All right, well, there's that. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, folks.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.